I was born in Hungary. I think that's where it was, at the Tridevutsa, that's the city that I was born in. No, they didn't move to Czechoslovakia. They came from, I think it was Hungary at the time, all I could remember, that we came here. My dad came first, and then Mother and I came. My mother was Slovak, and so was my dad. See, I don't remember anything because, like I said, I was 5 years old, and I don't recall anything from when I lived there. Well, over there, I think they were doing lumber work, cutting down trees, and that was hard work because I remember Mother saying that they had to do that too, to help. To cut down the trees, and then they'd dump them down into the river, and they'd push them down, and that was hard work, and he would try to better himself, so he came here, and then when he got enough money for our transportation, then he sent for us. We got off the boat, and then we got in the I don't know whether it was a ship or whatever it was, but anyway, we got into the smaller boats, and they were rocking, and then we got off and start walking on the street, out in the street, and that's all I remember there. I think it was just Mother and I think we came on to Pennsylvania. And then my mother had a big company house, and she had boarders, that's the roomers. They had an upstairs and downstairs, and Mother made a little extra money on that, It was a big company house. They owned everything, the city and everything, so you didn't have no choice. Well, not too much, only one. He had an accident in the coal mine, and he smashed his leg, and the doctors wanted to amputate it, and this man knew enough. He says he'd rather die than have his leg taken off. So Mother said, okay. So she, at that time, she was nursing my brother. I don't know how old he was. He must have been about 4 or 5 months old, And they had remedies of their own at the time. So Mother said, well, she'll try if he's willing to suffer. And so she started to clean it up, and then... but I can't remember the name. Bob can tell you, he remembers. I told him when I knew it. And those leaves, they'd wash them, and then they'd go like this to make it tender. So, and when she cleaned the leg off, and she put, the time she was nursing, she put her milk from the breast and put it on that leaf, and then put it all over the leg where it was sore. And she really cured it. And the man walked, and he was always thankful to Mother that she did that, But I was just wondering what they were doing for bed pay. Because at that time, Dad was always helping her to pick him up, turn him over, because they would get bed sores, but he didn't have any bed sores. Like here, when you're in the hospital, you get bed sores. And I don't know how they do that. She made lunches for them to take to the coal mine. They had pails like this, with the top that opens up. They'd have a bottle in there to keep either soup or coffee, whatever they needed. Those lights on the caps, they used to call them carbine lights. That was my job in the evening, to fill those up with that carbine stuff so they have light when they went into the coal mine. It was dangerous. They were like my, I don't know whether he was an uncle or a cousin, because, they always had, you say Mr., and then we'd call him uncle, or they would go and say how bad it was to get in there, and that smoke and smell. And especially when they put that dynamite in, and it would blow up the coal loose, then the coal miners had to shovel it into the little cars they had, and that's how they got in. But my uncle, he was killed. The mule kicked him when he got scared. Somebody hollered or something, and the mule got scared, and he jumped up, and he happened to kick backwards, and he hit him in the forehead and killed him. So my aunt was left with 8 children. It was a widow. Well, they didn't talk much about it. Like I said, when after we moved from Bentonville to Oklahoma, it was on a farm. There was 5 of them. An agent got a hold of them and sold them a farm. But it was near the river, and when it rained, it always overflooded. You couldn't raise nothing. Oh, there was nothing but snakes. You know, when you see all these snakes in the movies? Well, that's what it was like. And then the neighbor's little girl got lost, and my dad went down into he dug a well, and the snakes took the well over. There was a bunch of them, just like you see in the movies. He was pulling a stick there to see if he could feel a child in there, but she didn't fall in the well. She got lost. She was 2 miles away from home. It was near school. And the Indians then, well, we didn't know. We just knew Indians, but they weren't dressed as Indians. They were like us. They brought them over, brought the little girl over, and she had frozen fingertips. It was kind of hard.